Welcome back to M. Hood Discovered. Yeah, you're right. I'm in some woods along the Mississippi River. We're in an anchorage. There used to be a lot of stuff going on here in these woods back in the day. Now, these days, people come down here to hang out, to fish, do other things, hang out with their family, do some cooking, just chill, right? A lot of locals come to this particular stretch of woods I'm in to do things like that. And occasionally there's fishermen from other places that will seek it out. They've heard about it, but they don't know where it is, right? Back in the day, there were a lot of people coming to this particular spot where I'm standing to work. Morning, noon, and night, 24/7. They don't come here to work anymore. If you look close enough, you can see it. It used to look a lot different back in the day. Nature is slowly taking it. It's just a ruin of the past at this point. Look at that. It's one of the rails. Just like the title says, train wharf, dock, trestle. The train would come all the way down to the river. Things were loaded onto the train or took off the train. That stopped a long time ago. There is a train line that comes through here on the other side of the levee, and there is a train yard really close. Maybe the original train yard was closer to here then, but not now. It's a little further downriver now. Wow, this is just amazing. I've not been able to find a lot of info about this online, but I suspect that at the local library there probably is some info. This has been decommissioned for many years, right? What it would do is it would curve on and off. So this line, this track, curved off the main line and back onto the main line. As you can see, fire damage. Fire damage could be from after it was abandoned. I believe that might be the case here. That overhead structure ends right there. But if you keep walking through these willows here, you'll pick it up again. It's not to say that it ended there originally. It just ends there right now. Because this whole structure isn't here. A lot of it's gone, but there is a lot of it that is still here. Undoubtedly part of it right here, and you can see what's left of what held up the line as it came this way and curved to the wharf. It's been several months since I've been through this area. I don't expect too much change, but you never know. Ooh, it is really muddy right there. We're gonna have to navigate around that. Earlier today, most of the day actually, thunderstorms, right? Most of this year, I couldn't get up in here because the river was so high. And the conditions walking through here, you would think the river just left this area. But no, it's because most of the day we had a brutal thunderstorm hit us pretty hard. And the river left this area maybe a month ago or so, but it takes a long time for everything to dry out. You ready for it? I have been here for a level that was so low that I could walk around these things. We're actually here at high tide, and as you can see, that fire damage came out here as well. I don't know of a place on the river where they do this like this, where the train comes out here, but in the past they did it this way. The train would come out here and things would load onto the train or off the train. The way they do it now at shipyards, if it is about trains, the train is behind the yard. It doesn't come out in front of the yard. You know, you got the water, the yard, then the train. But this is the train, the water, the train, the yard? I don't know. But yeah, they do things differently now. This was probably like prone to a lot of damage from storms. That may have been why they gave up on it. I want to see if I can get through here to look at the upriver bit, because we came at it from downriver. As you can see, look at this massive bit of structure here. Years ago, I hung out here and made some ginger tea one full moon and just chilled. You see there's a slab of concrete up there. Whoa, slippery. Wow, this is a massive piece of wood. This is milled too, I think. It's got that attached to it, but if you look at the end, you can see what I mean by milled. See how it's notched? This was part of some structure. Maybe not this, but yeah, this, the river put this here recently. This was never here before. Who knows where this came from, but look how massive this is. It's like the whole tree as part of some structure. And we're starting to get to the upriver bit, which is more intact. I'm gonna come out this way towards the water if I don't sink in the mud. It is pretty soft and not too stable. Should be able to get out here a bit and see it. See how more intact it is? You got the rails up there. You got a lot of the support structure still there. I don't think that fire affected this side. It just doesn't look like fire damage, right? If you look closely, it just looks like rot. Nature's definitely taking it back slowly. It goes quite a ways upriver, slowly curving back. I don't mean miles, I just mean this whole structure curving from the levee on one side and curving back to the levee on the other side, about a football's length. If you straightened it out, it'd be longer. Down here on the Bachois, so many shifts of change over time. The river coming and going, and these willows just willy-nilly falling. These particular types of willow trees, they're not very strong. They don't live long. They shoot up fast and then they fall down. Hence why there's so many of these willows that look like they're on their side. They're getting knocked down by hurricanes and lots of water coming through here. Many shifts of change. I am trying to do a bit of traveling here without having to travel through the thick of the mud. It looks like I'm back to that muddy bit. Oh no, it's sinky already, but I will keep going as far as I can. We're really close to where the upriver bit is well into its curve back towards the levee. Oh, look at this. That is the goal. That is where I'm headed, where the ground is stable and we can take a gander at the upriver structure and see how much more intact it is. You see, here we are, but as we walk out this way, there's no doubt that I'm going to start to sink. But oh, it's a little better. It's a little better until it's a little worse, right? You can see that we got a fair amount of clay deposit, and that is usually the stuff you can walk on. You see? You see no fire damage here. That fire was on the downriver side. It may have been some kind of fire here, but you don't see what you see on the downriver side up here. It looks like someone may have took the tracks, though. I don't see tracks here. They're worth money. People take them and scrap them. If they can get them out of here. You know, they're heavy and they're way out here. But this bit is cool because it didn't burn. So if you can get over here, it is really interesting. It's not to everybody's liking, but there's a lot of people that don't realize this is here. And my feet are going into the mud here. Did you hear that? Woo! It was one of those ships. But look at that. You could walk along there. There's probably a walk. See, there's more of it. So people could walk along the side of the train. Because the tracks, there might be some tracks up there, but I don't see them. But yeah, the train will be going down the center because you could see how massive those runner beams are. See how massive they are? That's to support the train. That's why you got so many pylons down here. Let's see, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it just keeps going. It's now headed back up towards the levee. Intense structure, huh? But it's made of wood, so enjoy it now. It's gonna be gone eventually. These metal bolts will be about what's left behind until they're gone. They last a little longer than wood. And we get up here to almost the point where it ends, and we get this shot. This is like Hobbitville to me. Ground is just kind of moist up here, not dry. But yeah, we get up here to where see how at one time there was a levee here. This is what they called a levee. And then we get this bit of green, right? This is like Hobbitville. This is like we're back on the Shire. The Shire after post-industrial Shire, right? We'll come through here. There's no spider webs. And here we are. I can't see if there's tracks up there. They may very well be gone. About maybe 80 to 100 more feet. It ends. In some places you would have docks going all the way back to where the facility was, such as a factory or a yard, right? Like these train docks. And they went out of use, but they were still there. And then when they redid this levee, I think they redid it after Katrina. That's when some things got cut off from their original place where they were originating out of, right? Coming towards the river. I don't know if that's the case here, but Right at the bottom of the levee, right as you come into the woods, is where these structures are just cut off. They just, boom, they either begin or they start. It's just, so they used to go all the way, this train line went all the way to the other side of the levee. Like I said, what it originated out of over there, if there was something over there, the yard, because the yard is now a little further south of here. I find it really, really cool. Not everybody will, but there's a lot of people that just have no idea what is hiding in these woods on the Batois. Look at this. It just looks mystical and somewhat creepy in here. You could hang out here, nobody would know you're here. This is plastic. I had to have floated up here. Wow, if you wanted to come back here for a while, you got firewood for days, as long as it's dry. Before I work my way back to where I started, I wanted to look at this. Both ends are sawed. That is massive, huh? How long has that been there? I don't remember. I don't recall it, but it appears to have been there for a while, sitting here. It may have just showed up over a year ago. It's not like I spend a lot of time coming back here to this stretch, like, or this far back. I do come to this area to fish. Just not always every day I come here exploring back here. It is chill. You feel like you're away from everything, but you can hear everything. That's the downside. You hear the highway, you hear the river, and every year you hear it even more because there's even more going on. There's more people coming and going in here in this area. More things being built, more industrial stuff. All of a sudden you feel like you're in the newest version of Eraserhead, the Louisiana version. When I complain about industrialization of an area that I've been fishing for a while, somebody always says, oh, that's what puts food on the table. I understand that. I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid. I know it puts food on the table, but one must point out the loss of peacefulness, the loss of habitat, and all the trash that has shown up. One must point out that it feels like a new version, Louisiana version of Eraserhead. Yes, it puts food on the table, but it also does other things. Yeah, they don't call it Cancer Alley for no reason. I would imagine that the size of this structure was considered big at its time, its peak time. But right now, not big, under capacity. I don't think this structure is big enough. Maybe they gave up on it because it became obsolete. It seems big to the naked eye when you're walking here. Honestly, it's not that big when you consider things. If you have ever seen facilities today, you know it's not big. But back then, this would have been a big deal. There's a lot of things all over the country and the world, for that fact, sizable such as this, but obsolete because they're not sizable compared to today's needs and standards and technology. And like I said before, I wonder if this became way too expensive to maintain because it gets too storm battered. It's taking too much weight. The train Maybe there was some major disaster. I don't know. I haven't been able to find out any info online anyway, but maybe the library. I considered stopping at the library before making this video, but then I thought, well, that would just improve the story. This is just really about the fact that it's here. You can just look at it and go, oh yeah, they stopped using it maybe 50 years ago. Well, 1950s, more than 50 years ago, because, you know, this was probably around the turn of the century when they had their first use, and then they updated it. When I look at this, it looks like it had some updates, and then it became obsolete. So yeah, sometime after the turn of the century, and maybe by late 50s, 60s, or 70s, its peak was probably after World War II. It probably saw a lot of action after World War II. But after that, it goes downhill, I think. You could just see it. It's not like they stopped using this in the 90s. It probably was abandoned by the 90s. You know, it's abandoned. It's definitely old school. It's definitely too small for today's standards. Yeah, you're right. Let me get out of here. Definitely the downriver side is the most spooky. I mean, it feels like it's just gonna collapse any second, right? Yeah, you're right. Some of that's like barely held up there. Looks like popsicle sticks and Elmer's glue, right? Like the vines are holding it up. Well damaged over here, but there's still some rails over here. Maybe one of these days I'll climb the other side and see if there's rails, but I don't know if they're there or not. I can't see them. But here there's like a couple, and then the rest are gone. People take those things if they can get them out. It takes a lot of work, I would imagine. Yeah, you're right. You never know what's in your area. There's a lot of people live over there on the other side of the levee, and they never think about the river. They never come over here. But there's a lot of people who do. Unfortunately, some of those people leave their trash over here. Some of those people come over on ATVs and ruin the trail for everybody else. But there's a lot of people who use this levee because the levee is public. You know, jogging and riding their bike, exercise. It's public. I hear people using the levee right now. Yeah, you're right. Get out and explore your area. Sometimes all I want to do is go. I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Sometimes I got the bug in me. I want to, like right now I love to go really, really far and not come back and just keep going. But until then, there's places close by where I can go and feel like I'm away from everything. I can reconnect with nature. Leaves me feeling recentered, right? Lots of people think that I just want to get out there and go fishing, and that's true. I do like to fish, but it's not the only thing I do in nature. Sometimes I just want to come out. Sometimes I just want to come out and make a cup of tea. I forgot the kettle today. Everything else was with me, but I got here and I was like, shit, I left the kettle sitting there. Yeah, it's one of those days where you didn't think you were going to be able to get out, and then it stopped raining, and you knew once you got out that it was going to be extra humid in them woods. But I've done it anyway. I'll come out and it is muggy. I feel like I've been walking through a different kind of buttered air rather than the buttered air in my house. Yeah, you're right. Get out there and explore things. It's good for you. All right. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, being a member of the channel. And yeah, you're right. I will see you next time.